Okay, anything else? All right, moving on. Item number 6. This has to do with board protocols. It has to do with something that was posted by board member Scaletta Nelson regarding honor flight. And this was a statement, you know, that obviously was to the public, and there was board president Leandra asked that I put this on the agenda. I would like to.
Before you begin, Mark,
all right,
if we could focus on just why it's on the agenda and a review of the protocols as to you know, why I felt it kind of resonated to the point of being an agenda item. If we take a look at governance and planning, which is board policy 116, item number 6, individuals do not act or speak on behalf of the Board of Education unless appropriately designated. As we mentioned in our goal setting session, you know, when we are seated here as a Board of Education, we are all each functioning in our role as board members. But as soon as these meetings adjourn and we leave, yes, we are still board members, but we really don't function in the board's capacity unless the board gives us a directive to do so. So when we are in the public, when we identify ourselves as board members or give the impression that we are speaking or acting on behalf of the board when the board has not designated us to do so, it gives a misconception. And I know we've had these conversations in the past about, you know, it's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to voice your opinion, but you cross the line as soon as you say you are a Board of Education member, because it truly then becomes as if it's a reflection of the board. And if the board hasn't had a discussion to draw that opinion, to have that conclusion, it really can't be the opinion of the board. It can only be the opinion of one. So that was one of the things that I felt needed, you know, needed clarification. Because this was something that was actually addressed in the media, if we look at Board Policy 2110, and we look at item number 11 under the qualifications, terms, and duties, it is the board president that serves as the board's official spokesperson to the media. So either, you know, the world is different than it used to be. If in the past the media had to contact you pretty much to get an opinion, now with all electronic media, it's very easy to offer an opinion without having that opinion solicited. So I think we also have to be very cognizant that when we deal with any type of communication that is media-based, that we recognize the fact that the only person who is designated to speak on behalf of the board is the president, unless that individual has received designation to do so. And we have done that in the past as well. Situations involving the TIF, we had a designated spokesperson on behalf of the board. So again, just something that I think we need to keep in mind. You know, likewise, especially when things are communicated to the media, there is the natural snowballing. You know, what are the ramifications of that? Everything from misconception in the community as to whether or not this is truly the opinion of the board, as well as our relationship with surrounding districts. So there are issues that resonate as a result of the actions that we take. So anyway,
potential legal.
Yes, yeah, there can always be legal ramifications. So you know, with that was my preface as to why I felt that this resonated to be a board agenda item.
Okay. And what I've provided the board, and I was able to get this, you know, I didn't know this was going to be on the agenda till, you know, later on, but I did want to set the record straight on this. The board has some information on this this topic of our participation in the Honor Flight program, and the communication was critical of the board, I mean of the administration. And I just want to make sure that the board really understands, and the community for that matter, what really transpired here. You have on the top page here, this is an email from Tracy Rusanellos to Mick McCorney. It says, "Good afternoon, Mrs. McCorney. Thank you for taking my call earlier today." And then it goes on to explain about honor flight and all of that. And this was on November 1. Okay, it was followed up, if you go to the next page, page 2 at the bottom. The student council at LT was involved in this, and they contacted Mrs. McCorney. "Dear Mrs. McCorney, my name is Matt Lamarck. I used to be a student at Pleasantdale. I am in the student council at LT and wanted to check on if you have thought about the opportunity of helping us raise money for Honor Flight Chicago. I talked with Mrs. Russo tonight. She said she has emailed and talked to you and was just waiting for more feedback. Seeing as I went to Pleasantdale myself, I thought I would also email you and try to work something out. I'm wondering if I could set up a meeting with you, with Mrs. Washburn, or whoever is in charge of student council to talk about this opportunity. I have some ideas on how we can get Pleasantdale involved in this, and I would like to talk to you about it. I can't wait to start working out a plan with Pleasantdale and getting them on board to help with such a great cause. I know you are busy, so whenever you have a chance, please email me back. Also email with any questions, etc." So here's a response to Matt from Mrs. McCorney. "Hi Matt," and this is, by the way, the next day. "Hi Matt, great to hear from you. Hope things are going well for you at LT. It just so happens that I'm meeting this afternoon with Mrs. Collins, our new gifted teacher, Mr. Newman's replacement. She's in charge of student council this year. And I'm going to share the email and the information I got about Honor Flight with her and ask if she could contact you. I can't promise, obviously, that hopefully Pleasantdale will be able to help out with such a very good cause. Stop by sometime when you have free time. There are lots of teachers who'd love to see you again." So then at the top there, the next day, Matt replies, "Thank you for such a quick response. Everything is going well, and I emailed Mrs. Washburn because I thought she might have also been in charge also. I have sent her information about Honor Flight, and I also, but yes, I'm visiting the school one day soon." Okay, the next documentation here is a memorandum from Sharon Collins and the Student Council, and this is November 10th, so from the initial request, I think it was November 3rd, so 7 days it took, and it says, "This is a correspondence from Sharon Collins to the entire middle school. Hi everyone, we had a very busy meeting this morning. The Student Council has extended the food drive until Friday, November 19th. There will be 2 Student Council members making announcements at each lunch. Our president is writing the script and we'll leave it with the microphone. Decisions made today. We're going to extend the food drive until November 19th. Number 2, a donut sale Wednesday, November 17th. Profits will be split between Honor Flight Illinois and LT Student Council Project and the American Cancer Society. $125 each." Okay. Now, the next item there is the receipt from PayPal that was given to from our students to the Honor Flight effort. And then I thought it would also be useful for the board to just get a list of all the different community service things that we do both at the elementary and at the middle school. And particularly if you notice at the middle school, the many things that we've got going on in addition to Honor Flight. So there's a lot going on. And then we were featured in the doings recently for Pleasantdale Students Walk for Cancer, where they donated $7,000. So I present all that information, and I want to go back to what Mrs. Nelson wrote here. It says, "As a member of the Pleasantdale School District 107 Board of Education, I am embarrassed at the arrogant attitude that our school administration took towards participation in this worthwhile endeavor." So, Mrs. Nelson, I have a question for you. How do you perceive the actions that were taken by the school administration in regard to Honor Flight to be arrogant?
Well, had I known you were going to present these emails, I would have been more prepared for this discussion. The email from Tracy Russo is dated November 1st. I'm confident that that was not the first email from Tracy. When I spoke to Mrs. Russo, she said she sent, and she literally was on vacation, and said, "I will call you back this evening." She pulled up her laptop and she said, "I sent 22 emails." I can't actually remember the exact number, but she said it was at least 22 emails. Maybe I'm wrong on the number.